Hello and welcome back to Conan Exiles in the Age of War Chapter 3, and today I want to talk to you about some little different locations around the map, 5 to be precise, with some kind of hidden secrets I suppose you would say, but some of them are actually hidden in plain sight, but we'll take a look at those and show you where they are and what they are, just in case you've never found them. So here we go then with number 1. And as you can probably guess, there's a giant tablet behind me, and we are up here in the cold frozen north. If I just spin around, you can kind of see where we are there, up on this little ledge. And just to show you on the map, we are just about here. So we're just kind of north of the Great Dam and south of the very southern end of the volcano. And this particular item here, there are lots of these around the map in different locations, but this specific one relates to the Witch Queen. So if we interact with it,
When we met the ones we call the Giant Kings, some of us fell to our knees in worship. Surely these were gods in living flesh, come to offer us respite at the end of our long journey. We could not speak their language, but our sorcerers and theirs came together and worked a powerful ritual. Enchanted gemstones enabled our communication. We forged bracelets to hold them. Thus could our communion with the Giant Kings begin.
so there you go. That's another tablet, which is part of the Witch Queen, or Rasma as she is called. You'll find lots of these all around the map, so do keep an eye out for them when you're travelling around, so that if you're a sort of lore or story kind of person, that's one to keep an eye out for. Once again, we're just here in the frozen north. So here we are for our next location, and this time we are here just north of the unnamed city. So if you're coming from the sort of savannah area or from the den, we're just literally on the top of the ready orange area, so the north of the unnamed city. And what you want to do is you want to climb up this particular rock here. So you're going to have to rest there, and then a little bit further you go again. And take plenty of breaks. I need a lot of stamina to get up here, because when you get to the top of here, as you will see, 2 ghosts appear. And if you watch the one on the right, he seems to point across in that direction. Now, if anybody's ever been up here, you may think he's just pointing straight out across there, back at the unnamed city. So if we look kind of where we are, looks like the point at the unnamed city. But actually, what he's pointing at isn't the unnamed city, it's this stone here. So again, you'd have to climb up, and we get a loot chest, which sometimes is a bit temperamental and will let you interact and other times won't for some reason. Let me just go to creative, see if it will work now. It appears not so, but if you click on this, you will get some loot in it. Not necessarily brilliant loot, but a few bits of goodies in there if you're interested in just climbing up here. Just at least just to find this anyway. Yeah, it doesn't want to work for some reason, but if you ever want to check it out, this is where it is, just to the north of the unnamed city here. Right, so this is number 3 on our list, and many people will already know by the scenery behind me where we are, but for those who don't know, we're over here in the city of Seppa Maru, just at the, I call these little cogwheels because that's kind of what they look like, and we are at the one marked as the Temple Quarter, which if you know it well in this area, Conan's bar is just down there over my left shoulder. I'll show you in a minute. And at this spot here you'll get 3 guaranteed set priests, and these can be a set priest, a set high priest, or even a named priest, so these are a guaranteed spawn for them. There is also another couple just at the back up here, but that's not what we're here for. What we're here for is, if you take a look at the sand just in front of where I'm standing now, as you can see it says press to interact. Just where my cursor is, just there is a little note, and you see at the top right there it teaches you a little emote. Now these are really hard to spot, if I'm being honest, unless you've got really good eyesight and you can spot them, because they do look the similar colour as the sand. But if you click on that, you can learn that one. And all around this area, we won't do them all now because it's quite hard to spot them, but if you look very carefully in and around this area, when you're around this shrine, especially as you go into the grass up here, you may notice that there are more of them, and they are quite well hidden, but there are odd ones dotted around. And then if you then work your way back this way, going along, there you go, one by my feet just there, so that gives you another example there. You can interact with them again, that teaches you another one, and there's one or two more if you work your way along this wall. Just keep an eye out as you go along, all just within kind of this area of the shrine. There's some little hidden different emotes that you can learn. Also a little chest behind the set priest that can have varying bits of possibly useful loot in it. And then again, another location up here at this little shrine where there is 2 more set priests, and also a ghost, and a book that most people probably know about now, which is another bit of lore or story, so you can feel free to read that one. And as you see, Conan's bar is just down there behind us. Now, apologies about the lighting not being great in here. This is our number 4 location. Obviously this, for those who know or who don't know, we're just here once again on the map, still near Sepa Maria, but this is the silver mine, which we know is now different to how it used to be. So this next little spot I'm going to show you is going to be a little bit more of a battle for you to get to. You are going to have to fight off some enemies in this area first. But the area in question, excuse me, if we carry on down this tunnel here, you'll find your relic hunters obviously fighting your scorpions. But what we want to look at is if we carry on down this track, and this is actually a bonus actually now, just remembered about this one. If you get rid of all this stone in here, there is a little chest hidden back there as well with some bits and pieces in. But the main focus that we want to look at in this area, as I say, you will have all these enemies to deal with. But if you've ever been in here, if you've never looked up, you can see all those little platforms and all those torches up there. If you get to one side, and again you're going to have to be able to climb quite a bit and have a bit of stamina, but if you start to climb on these rocks, you'll notice there are different platforms up here, again with different chests, and can have goodies for bits of gold and silver, etc., those type of things. Climb up here, and again more gold and silver and other bits and pieces, and you can pretty much follow these platforms all the way around. You're going to have to do a fair bit of climbing and have a fair bit of carry weight at least, but dotted all around up the top of the cave in the silver mine. So if you're after some, certainly silver, maybe a bit of gold if you're lucky, and some other bits and pieces, then that's another little spot that you can come in and search, which is another, as we would call it, hidden in plain sight option. Not necessarily fantastic loot, but if you've never explored it, why not just check it out once at least so you know how it works and where it is. Right, and we are definitely in a bit of a hidden spot for this one, for our number 5 on the list. And if you come to this location here, which is the Black Galleon, and then you get yourself sort of on this bottom right hand corner, and then you climb up from down below up onto this ledge here and onto here, you'll find this little, what looks like a little cave. Just ignore the people you can hear in the background there. But then if you, obviously you don't want to climb up that side because they will spot you, but if you climb up here and then you get yourself up and around into this gap here, it's going to be quite a bit of a climb. But then if you get up here, once you get into here, you will need to crouch because it is quite low, but there is a book there that you can read. You'll see the corpse there, and then you have this chest just here that you can interact with. Now I already own this is why it's not necessarily going to give it me. Oh yes, it has. You can obtain the Rum Runners report, which is a hidden recipe that you can get from here. So even if you have it and you've already learned it, you try and learn it again, it'll say you already own this, but you could keep hold of it, and if you've got a friend who's never got it, or just somebody on the server that you play on that you know has got it, you could give it to them. So that was the 5 we spoke about, but why not? Since we're feeling generous, I got an extra 2 for you. So you're getting 7 for the price of 5, can't be bad, eh? Right, our final one, even though it shows we're up here on the map, is actually all the way back down here at Clayle Stronghold, so the dungeon, the Warmaker's Sanctuary. If you go through this, now if you remember in the past, this piece of wall behind me was like ice and you could look through it and you could see a Yeti in the background. Well, now if you take a pick, you can destroy that wall, and sure enough there is a 3-skull black Yeti, who is of course now being spat at by a little spider because we've opened that door, but we'll leave them to it. Pretty good to kill. He does actually drop a key, so a legendary key, and there is a skeleton key, and there is a chest behind him there that you can loot as well. So that's just a cheeky little extra one for those who didn't know that. And then for our absolute final one, which is our extra little bonus one, so number 7, if you complete the Warmaker Sanctuary, so you just defeat the final boss and you come out of the exit door just behind us, then you come along this corridor. Before you drop back down to the final area just there, which takes you back out to the entrance, if you take a right turn and you squish down this little gap here, once again you'll notice there are some little chests with some basic loot, but bits and pieces, gold, silver, that you may find helpful. And this is another little spot once again that not a lot of people necessarily know about. A lot more people should know now than what did, because there are people who have shown this off, but there we go, just as another little extra one. That is number 7 on our list. So there we have it, that's our 5 little locations plus our little 2 extra bonus ones that you got there. Definitely worth it, I think. If you did find this one interesting, do let me know down in the comments down below, leave a like as well. And also, if you've got some fun locations that you know over on the map that you particularly like, why not drop it in the comments down below as well, let other people know. If you've got any interesting or fun little hidden gems that you found throughout the Exile lands, let us know. And while you're down there, why not consider subscribing if you haven't already, so you don't miss the next one. And for the moment, if you want to know more about Conan Exiles, especially chapter 3 where we are at the moment, and looking forward to chapter 4, why not check out one of the videos on screen now, and I shall meet you there.